Hey, welcome to the custom plugin lecture of the BitBadges development course. In this lecture, we'll kind of show you how to get started with developing custom plugins for the claim interface on your own end and bridging them so that they're compatible with the BitBadges site. So it's pretty easy. So just for context, we're in the developer portal and we're using the claim tester interface. So when you're creating a claim, you have opportunity to, use all these insight plugins that are created by BitBadges or maybe even created by the community. But you also have the opportunity to create your own plugins or use custom webhooks to implement your own logic, or even use them with external tools such as like a Zapier webhook, for example. Um, for this video, we will be focusing on like your own custom webhooks, and yeah. So the custom validation URL plugin is going to be more so, checking criteria during claim time. So, if this webhook fails, the whole claim will fail. And then the success webhook is only sent upon a successful claim. So this is more often used to implement post actions or post claim logic, such as maybe you want to implement a specific reward or anything that is dependent on a successful claim. So let's get started and just look at customizing these plugins. You can customize the name of it to actually fit what you want and what you're using it for. So, example demo, this is used for XYZ. You can even add custom images, whatever, to it. But let's look into the parameters. For this demo, I'm just going to use the pipe dream request bin, just a way for you to catch webhooks and just show them all in the browser. So you'll send the post request, to a webhook URL. So this is just an API request, HTTP request, and then you can choose to receive certain socials or logins or their address or so on within the request. So, for example, if I add the address, it'll send all the equivalent addresses within the payload. If I add their Discord, it'll send their username, discriminator, an ID, whatever is applicable, and so on. So, as you can see, if I send a test request, it will see it sent successfully, and then it caught it here, and you can see that during the claim, it will send this post webhook with all the information, then you just implement the custom logic on your end. So these are just placeholder values because it was a test request, but you might think of checking criteria based on if this user's in a Discord server or if they have certain values for their address, in your database or your private lookups, or it doesn't even have to be private information, it could just be your own logic. So let's go ahead and I'll just enter a secret too, just so you know that it's coming from the BitBadges plugin. So super secret password. And the secret can just be used to verify the origins. Just because an API is typically public, you might want to just verify that it's not someone else spoofing and trying to get private information out of the request. So let's add it. And as you can see, when we create the claim, since we required a Discord, we passed the Discord address, we'll be required to sign in with Discord. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see here, I will go ahead and sign in to Discord. And I see I'm signed in. I'm signed in here now, and then we just go. It's a little messy, but it'll tell you kind of so our plugin will receive, your Discord username and ID and address, and that's kind of where we're using this information. So let's submit it. As you can see, it sends, in this case, we send a simulation hook. So if simulation is true, in case you want to, maybe fail early or fail the simulation if something's not correct. But let's actually submit it for real, and it'll send another hook to, I think it sent another simulation hook, didn't it? And then we actually execute it for real. Simulation is false, and then we send the hook, and you can configure it to implement whatever logic that you want yourself. It will also pass a bunch of like contextual information, like the claim ID, claim attempt ID, your last, when the claim was last updated, what the kind of plugin this is for, what instance ID, and that's all up to you for how you want to implement the logic. So for example, like the claim attempt ID might be, if it's important to ensure that only one like action is performed per claim attempt, you might want to check that this is the claim attempt ID is not being like sent again, and so on. So this is just an example of how you can do it with the streamlined hooks. So if I update it, so this was the custom validation URL hook, but you can also do the same thing with the success webhook and just pass the same information, pass the whatever, and you can receive everything from the only when the claim succeeds. So if we look here, is there a way we can, yeah, let's clear this all. As you can see, why is it not letting me claim? Let me just refresh and do it again. In this case, the webhook will only send upon success. So yep, and then as you see here, it doesn't send anything for simulations because nothing's needed at that time, but then we send it upon a successful request, and you can see the attempt status is a success hook. So this is a really streamlined way for you to just customize claims seamlessly with your application, your plugin, and integrate it wherever you need. And yeah, this is easy. It's a streamlined way to do so without any user inputs or stuff. If you need some more customization, such as like accepting user inputs or stuff like that, you will need to create a full-on custom plugin, which we'll get into in the next episode, or maybe in 2 episodes, I'm not sure. But yeah. So the last thing is you can also configure it to send to a Zapier webhook URL, and that basically just it just you can create a zap that you can catch the webhook, parse it however you want, and then just do whatever you want with it using anything that Zapier offers. So let's go here, let's go to webhooks. This is a premium feature on Zapier, so you might have to pay for it, but so let's just like, for example, you might add new info to Google Sheets as soon as the request is sent. So in this case, we catch the hook, we configure it, and then you can parse it, and then use the hook values to like insert it into certain rows and stuff. And I'll leave that for as an exercise for the implementer to configure. But yeah, that's one way for you to customize claims even further, and that's also without you don't have to interact with the BitBadges API because everything is still Insights. It just makes it compatible with the Insight claim flow.